Brown guy with tattoos. I think I'm covered. We're looking for a brown guy with tattoos. Perfect.
Is that the AK day?
That was the AK day. So
Chest blasted?
chest. He just what?
How about this? We'll give something for the listeners. All right.
Dude, if people understood that they can get slapped at any fucking point in time, they would legitimately shut the fuck up. Fucking take the labels off of this shit. If they want to drink the bleach, drink the bleach. So day drinking, and I was like,
I caught that. I'm like, motherfucker! It's 11.
We're at
It's
work.
11 o'clock.
It's 11 o'clock in the morning.
Work at least.
It's 11
I
o'clock
was
in the
at work
morning.
too, but I was like, yes.
Now it's time for you to talk about Blood Dick.
Right.
Why the fuck were you guys talking about that before the fucking episode? Hashtag Blood Dick.
So awesome.
Listen. Welcome to the Covert Standard. What's up, people? That's right. You're listening to Covert Standard. Thanks again for joining us. I know it's been hectic lately, man. Everybody's been really busy. It's the holiday season. It's expected to happen.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's got stuff to do. We've got Dillon back. What's going on, Dillon?
What's going on?
Welcome back.
Kind of had some crazy shit go down, and then unfortunately, it's just us two. No one else. Well, that and a crazy ass dog, and then you can hear in the background.
Yeah, you'll probably hear my dog bouncing around.
She's running around today, but no Dave, no Chase.
Yeah, everybody's busy. As expected, it's the holidays. You know, people got stuff to do. I'm the only loner that's consistently here. I have no life. There is no life at all. Anyway, let's go ahead and get these sponsors knocked out of the way. First and foremost, always at top of the show, is CabalUSA.co. CabalUSA.co is your number one place to go for EDC needs. Anything that goes from flashlights to holsters and everything in between. This is the place you go for all of your everyday carry needs. The cool thing about this is that he's got all types of stuff. He's revamping the website a lot. There's a lot more stuff on there, and he's got some red dot optics on there too that are pretty reasonably priced on them. But don't forget, because of you, the listener, you can go on to CabalUSA.co and use the promo code Covert Standard for 15% off. So don't forget to use that. And our second sponsor is Stone Cold Works. Our buddy Stoner over there is painting, coating, powdering, everything under the sun right now, and he's doing a hell of a job. He's got his shop finally set up over there, and he is able to take firearms in, which is pretty fucking dope. So if you have a boring-ass black firearm at home that needs to get Cerakoted, and just about anything else too, he does car parts, stuff like that, you can send it his way. Let him know that Covert Standard sent you over there, and he might throw a little something in there for you. So don't forget, he's got a website too, Stone Cold Works. I believe it's .com on that one.
Yeah.
And then you could also go his Instagram page as well as Cabal USA's Instagram page and hit them up. Now
He's got a price list on his website too.
Yeah.
From like basic colors to camos to slides, frames, AR-15, full builds.
He does a lot of cool stuff, man. Dave has a Glock that's Mandalorian style.
Boba Fett Glock.
Yeah, it's like an OD green to a red coating. It's pretty dope. I like it a lot. I've seen so many. He's done Stormtrooper AKs because everybody loves Stormtrooper AKs. I've seen some distressed look and stuff like that as well. Those are always pretty cool too.
He does some cool stuff. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he keeps hitting me up on Instagram, looking at my gun, saying, needs a little paint on that. Needs a little paint on that, a little color in its life. No, but anyway, yeah, man. So welcome back, bro. It's good to have you.
Yeah,
good to see you again.
It's shitty why I was gone. I try not to miss, but unfortunately, I've had a lot of fucking horrific stuff happen.
Yeah,
I'm actually getting bad news on my phone right now.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Right, like right now.
Yeah.
Well, that's just great.
Mom's in the hospital thinking she has a heart attack.
Oh wow.
Yeah. They're.
You want to go ahead and?
No, I mean, there's nothing to be done about it.
Okay, all right.
She's nowhere near here, and she's saying that they don't think it is, but they just want to make sure. So she's in the hospital.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's going to be a certain point in time. I'm either going to get to the point where I'm old enough to where little things make me want to go to the hospital to get checked out, or I'm going to be old enough to where I don't give a fuck anymore.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, yeah, my knee hurts. Oh, well, I fucking take the damn thing.
So uncle died. It's kind of one of those weird things to where like, uncle was probably a bigger, more important, influential person in my life than my dad.
Sure.
It's like one of those things that it's hard to tell strangers. They're like, "Oh, your uncle died. That sucks." I'm like, I rather than try to explain that, I'm just like, "Yeah, thanks."
Yeah.
but it was fucking rough. My mom went down there to try to help out her brother. It was her brother, and
your mom's side of the family. Okay, okay.
And his health had been declining. Like last year, I dropped everything and left because he was on the brink of death, and kind of took care of him for a week and got him back to health. And she was kind of down there doing the same thing of looking after him, and this time he didn't make it. And she hurt her back pretty good. She didn't know how, but I mean, well, she knew how she did it. She fell wrestling around with a dog that was attacking another dog.
Yeah.
But she didn't go to the doctor or anything. She was too busy taking care of him. So she found out she broke her tailbone. And so she's been walking.
It's a very interesting thing to break.
Right. Because she was trying to pull a dog off another dog,
she
and
fell on
back,
it,
and
yeah.
boom. And so it's
Dude,
cracked.
I've bruised that before, and that's just bruising it is fucking painful.
Right.
I used to think I was a skateboarder when I was a kid. Yeah. When I say I used to think, that's exactly what it was.
I knew what you meant.
I used to think I was a skateboarder.
Right.
And there was this one time I thought I can go over this like hill, and this is when I was starting to learn a kickflip.
Yeah.
So I thought I could go up this hill, do a kickflip, and I did it, and the skateboard went underneath me, and I fell on my tailbone, bruised the living shit out of it. Yeah. It hurt. It hurt.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyways, a lot of bullshit. I haven't been to the gym all month, which is another kind of like.
Dude, I've been sick recently.
I'm really upset. Yeah, when I got back from helping with because I dropped everything when my uncle died. Like the next day I was on the road. I was trying to close on that refinance. It was supposed to go through Friday. He died on Sunday. It didn't go through, so Monday I'm waiting around literally till I signed papers and hit the road immediately. Drive all the way out to Kansas and help with all that stuff. And then like right after I get back, I have a full-blown fucking respiratory infection, and it just knocks me on my ass.
Just great.
So I'm recovering from that. That's why I've been gone for a little bit. But yeah, kept me from the gym along all the other things, and that's driving me crazy.
Yeah,
too.
I missed jits. The end of last week, like I normally would do, and also the beginning of this week, I missed jits completely because not because I don't want to do it or I can't do it. It's just I feel really bad about coughing on somebody and getting them sick. So I just keep myself away, and I'll go back to training afterwards. No worries.
Mine's not. I'm not contagious. I can't get anybody else sick, but like my lung capacity is legit. Like at like probably half of what it should be.
Hey, just drink some good whiskey, bro.
Like,
that's all you need.
Like last podcast when I was like, yeah, I can't make it. I literally like my goal was to just fucking clean guns. I had a bunch of guns I needed to clean. I managed to clean 3 guns all day. I just couldn't move.
Yeah,
I didn't have any fucking oxygen.
Yeah.
So I'm finally feeling good. So that's nice.
Hell yeah.
Here to bullshit with everybody, even though no one's here.
While you were gone,
bullshit with the listeners.
Have you been paying attention to what's been going on with the impeachment?
Of course, yeah.
So before I get into that, I kind of wanted to backpedal a little bit on that and talk about like me growing up and you growing up and how the views have changed. Actually, at least for me, I don't know how they were with you.
Political views.
Yeah, at least for me, they ended up changing for me because, I'll be honest with you, my understanding of what it was when I was a kid is completely different than when I actually finally got involved into society.
Right.
And that's when the views changed. So, for instance, when I was younger as a kid, in school, we learned about Democrats and Republican, but we didn't learn about like what each one of theirs purpose, like why are they called Democrats?
Right.
Why are they called Republicans? Right. What is progressive and what is conservative? Like they didn't really go over these things hardcore. They did say there was a 2-party system, and then one of them was an elephant, one of them was a fucking donkey.
Right.
Like that's literally like the gist of what I got. And I remember that we had this little makeshift little voting session when I was in school, and what they did was they had everybody go up in front of the class and say one thing they like or dislike about a candidate of some sort. Yeah, we're kids, man.
It's funny because I remember doing the exact same thing. It was Bush Senior, Ross Perot, or Bill Clinton, and
I think that was the same exact fucking thing that I was doing too.
Yeah. And I remember voting for Ross Perot, basically just because my mom did. But as I'm an adult and I pay attention to like what was going back at that election, I wholly support my youngster beliefs. I'm fucking such a Ross Perot fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's so awesome.
So something I couldn't even tell you why or what my teacher had said or what made me go the route that I went. But I ended up voting. What it was is they made this little makeshift little booth.
Sure.
Out of cardboard to make it seem like it's a voting station,
like a voting booth.
To teach you how to vote. And we had stickers. There was like a little star sticker. And we had to go in and we had to put a sticker next to the name of the person that we wanted to vote for. And I voted for, in that sense, Bill Clinton.
Yep.
I don't support my young adolescent self. And no, I'm not a fan of Bill Clinton. I was an idiot too. Like I'll be 100% with you, right? When you're younger, important matters aren't necessarily like facts aren't necessarily a thing that you think about.
Dude, your perspective's just you're a little fucking kid.
When I found out that old Bill Clinton's like having an affair, getting head behind the freaking Oval Office desk at the time, I'm like, well, fuck, that's every guy would fucking do that kind of thing. Well, obviously, I was young.
Sure.
Or he lied about smoking weed when he was younger. It's like, oh, okay, well that was the thing that most people did too.
Right.
So I didn't think about that. That's all I had to lean off of what a presidential candidate was when I was a kid.
Sure.
Getting older, I'm starting to realize like, oh, okay, now I understand certain things that I have to pay attention to. Certain viewpoints. Now, obviously, I understand how our government works. The president is not everything.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, there's checks and balances. Also, I was just thinking about it. Like, I don't remember it being pushed as a kid, but like, maybe it was just downplayed too much. But like, you have Bill Clinton, draft dodger,
okay,
and then you have Bush, a literal World War II hero.
Yeah. I mean, look at it right there. Just look at it, And
I'm sure that was talked about back then, but I don't remember it.
Hey, dude, you ever went back and looked at like for instance, like, I think about today's times with what's going on with Trump, minus the impeachment, happened to Ronald Reagan when he became president. If you go back and watch a lot of the debates and videos like that they have of back then of him having public speeches and stuff like that, he was interrupted all the time. He was protested all the time.
Yeah.
He was like heavy debates. He was like the Democrats wanted him gone.
Yeah.
It happened a lot with Ronald Reagan.
I think it's probably never been as bad as it is now.
No, it's horrible now.
But and I have a lot more to say about that.
Sure, me too.
But yeah, I mean it wasn't easy for Ronald Reagan. No one liked him.
Yeah. I mean, it's because
Democrats didn't like him.
Yeah, well, he in a lot of the things that you hear, and it's probably because that's what they wanted to say in the public eye. It's probably not what they wanted to, what they said behind closed doors. But in the public eye, it's like, well, he's not a politician. He was an actor.
Yeah. Well, I also feel like it's not just Democrats. Everybody does this, but it's very true for Democrats. Of like when someone's up for actual political power, they're willing to say he's the worst person ever.
Yep.
When it was who was after McCain? The Mormon. What's that politician's name?
I don't know.
The Republican nominee that ran against Obama the second.
Romney.
Mitt Romney. When Mitt Romney was up against Obama, he was Hitler. He was the worst politician ever. He hated everybody's freedoms. He was the most extreme right-wing Republican that had ever run against him. And then as soon as it's done, they're like, "Oh yeah, he's so reasonable Republican." Can
you agree? Can you agree to this? Ever since Trump got elected, they have been trying nonstop since day one to get him out of office.
The best way I can put it is like there's this like tension in the air when we're in election season, like the year of a national election for president, and it's an anxiety I really don't appreciate. I don't fucking like it.
Sure, yeah.
And I feel like that never went away for Trump. When Trump got elected in 2016, that never went away. 2016, that like angst in the air never went away.
Yeah.
It's 2019. It's still fucking here.
Yeah.
And yeah, there people want to fucking see him gone however they can, including impeachment. But before we get down that, because I think we're gonna be tripping over ourselves agreeing with each other when it comes to the impeachment inquiries.
Yeah.
When you were a kid, like not like little kid, like when you were a teenager, did you give political thought? Like, did you think about politics that much? Did you think about philosophy that much?
High school, right?
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I feel like the world wasn't important to me yet.
Okay.
If that makes any sense.
Like your world was much smaller.
My world, the things that I worried about were directly things that were on a day-to-day basis for me. So I worried about things like school.
Okay.
Am I pissing my mom off? And
school, parents, girls.
That was my world.
Not your friends.
Yeah, not what's going on in the world. Not what am I doing in college. Not.
Did you go into the Marine Corps straight out of high school?
I did.
So don't have a whole lot of time between high school and Marine Corps.
I did not. The Marine Corps thing happened actually when I was going to night school. Okay, I'll be honest with you. I wasn't a star child in high school.
Sure.
If you look at my college grades, you would never believe what they are. You know what I'm saying? Like the fact that I'm making straight A's in college.
Because you had that like that time frame to like give a shit.
Yeah.
With high school, you don't get the option of whether you're doing that shit or not. Like this is what you're doing. It's forced upon you. For college, you were an adult. You're paying for it. You're putting in the effort.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
To me, it makes total sense.
Yeah.
When I was in high school, getting educated was really important to me, but my grades could not have been more irrelevant.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would ace all of my tests, but I'd never do homework. So I'd get C's in all of my classes because that's how I'd average out. If I do really well on tests and then I never did any of my homework, I'd get a C. I was fucking fine with that. I didn't give a shit about my GPA. As long as I felt like I was getting educated, I was happy. I was not a grade A or star student by any means.
No. I actually I had to go to summer school my freshman year to make up my credits from freshman year because I got held back.
Yeah.
Probably one of my most embarrassing moments of life, to be honest with you, is the fact that that ninth grade I got held back.
So this sounds like a podcast story. I'm sorry. Keep going, but I have a terribly embarrassing story to tell about myself.
Well, I mean, I'm sure I could come up with embarrassing moments in my life. What I'm saying is like an embarrassing thing to talk about is the fact that I got held back in ninth grade.
Yeah.
I ended up going to summer school, so I didn't get to take off, so I could make up the credits that I fucked up in freshman year.
Yeah.
I bounced around. I went to 4 different high schools because everything that happened within my family. So I went to Dr. Phillips my freshman year.
Yep.
And then Olympia High School, their first year opening. It opened in 2002. Their first year opening. I went to sophomore there. I went to Green Run High School in Virginia, and then went back and graduated from Cypress Creek down in Florida. Right. And I got held back in ninth grade. I had to go to night school to make up some more credits that I was fucking up. I was a bad kid, but I still went through it.
Yeah.
You know, like I still finished.
Sure.
But I was a shitty kid.
Dude. Okay. So here we go. So I started fucking off real bad in like junior year of high school.
Yeah.
Specifically math class. I fucking hated the math class. The teacher hated me. I would skip it all the time, and he would just mark me present. Like there was like an unspoken thing. I wouldn't show up, and I didn't fucking hear anything about it. He was happy to have me not there.
Really?
Yeah. And
would you disagree with him all the time?
I just fucking.
Were you that guy? Were you a riot?
I mean, in history class, I disagree with my history teachers all the time and question them and talk about politics, and that drove them fucking crazy.
You would.
But
if I had to guess a class that you would debate a lot in as a kid, I would definitely say history class.
Yeah. But math class, I just fucking suck at math. Like I have to focus really fucking hard on math, and I fucking hated it. I'd sleep through it most of the time. I just didn't want to be there, and that guy fucking didn't mind me being gone. And plus, there was a girl that was skipping, so we'd go fucking do whatever. And so that summer, I had to take a summer classes. The first and only time I ever took a summer course.
Yeah.
And I got into it with my mom, like probably one of the few times that me and my mom really didn't get along.
Yeah.
And I fucking I don't know how she quote unquote kicked me out of the house / I just fucking left.
Mhm. I know all about that.
Yeah. I took my shit and then I just fucking went to a friend's house and was living there for like a couple weeks. And summer school is 3-4 weeks. So
Okay.
like the first week I was there,
Can't remember how long it was.
it's short. I mean, it's an accelerated thing. The first week I was living at home, my grades were fucking A's, and then I leave and I start seeing this girl simultaneously. Like the day I fucking like get in a fight with my mom and move out with, I start dating this girl.
Okay.
And it was one of those things to where like we made out a bunch, but we didn't actually like do anything yet because it was like the first week of a relationship with this girl in high school, and I was burning the candle at both ends to where summer school you have to wake up fucking early because you're done by like 1:00. So I was staying up till like 3-4 in the morning, hanging out with my friends and hanging out with this girl, and then waking up and going to fucking summer school. And that was the first and only time I had a wet dream. And it was in the class when I fell asleep in summer school.
Oh my God.
I was having a dream about the girl. And I like woke up and it was like a full like,
oh shit.
I gotta go to the bathroom.
Hold the presses. Whoa. Right in the middle of fucking school, bro? God, man, did you ever talk to her? Did you ever?
What do you mean, the girl?
Yeah.
Of course, we kept dating. We had sex all the time, and it was just like the first few days of that relationship. Like I was a teenager, super horny, not living at home, fucking getting no sleep, passed out during fucking.
That's fucking hilarious. Oh my God. So back to political. No. Speaking of wet dreams, Bill Clinton. He had.
So, but okay. Aside from that fucking hilarious and very true story. I almost want to name the girl, but
just drop her name out here for the whole world to know.
But I took philosophy in high school, and I was always decently involved in politics. Like, I always cared about it, found it interesting. Mm-hmm. Obviously, when you're younger, you don't have the perspective of, like, I don't even remember it occurring to me to think when you're learning about things like communism and when they're talking about, the people owning the means of production. Like, it never even occurred to me of like, oh, well, this factory didn't just come from thin air. We're stealing it from somebody.
Yeah.
Like, those kind of questions never even occurred to me because I'm just young.
I'll be honest with you. Politics really was not at all an involvement of mine until the military.
But so I wanted to go into the military from a young age. And some stuff from my uncle and his, because he went through some super horrific shit in Vietnam. And he didn't tell me near as much as I know now back then, but he told me enough. And then also one of my good buddies' older brother went over to Iraq in the Army.
Yeah.
And came back and kind of told me his experience. And both of those two combined talked me out of going into the military. Because I felt like I was going to go somewhere where I wanted to make a difference, but then I was going to be in an area to where my enemy didn't have a uniform and I didn't speak the language and everybody was just going to look like the enemy and it was going to defeat any kind of good that I thought I could go over there and do.
Yeah.
But I was a libertarian from a young age, which is a weird thing. And I would say that's still not too far off from where I am now, honestly. Like, I'm for
when did you know? When did you know, like, that's where you wanted to be classified as?
Like, when I started taking these political tests and
was this in high
philosophy
school?
In high school.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. My view on several individual things has changed. Like, my view on welfare has changed a tremendous amount.
Yeah.
A lot of that is due to reading different economists and getting a better understanding of how money works and like how everything, like when someone says, more black people are sent to prison for drug offenses, yet drug use is the same between whites and blacks. So that is evidence of systemic racism in our system.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
I used to buy into all that shit. And then I started, reading some more. I know this is a little bit different than the economist side of things, but like, yeah, those two things are true, but also you're ignoring the fact that the majority of drug dealers are more likely to be black than white, and you're more likely going to be able to plead down from dealing to simple drug possession. And when you have simple drug possession, you're able to plead down. It's this whole fucking thing. That's how that system works, to where if you want to take it to court, sure, but if you want to just take probation or diversion and make it cheaper for the court system, you can take essentially the next step down of what you were actually caught for and get in trouble for that.
Okay. That seems like really one really big area that we have a problem in our country, and I know that's has a lot to do with our law system too.
And I haven't moved from that either. Of like from a young age to now, I'm against. I know we've talked about it before. I'm against drugs being illegal at all.
Yeah, we've had this conversation.
Yeah. So like, gay marriage, when that was an issue, I was for gay marriage. I still am for gay marriage.
Yeah.
Like, truthfully, I'm for the state being out of the marriage game.
Yeah, sure.
I never understood it. I always saw it as, because conservatives came at it from this perspective that they were scared that people were gonna come in and force them to have gay marriages, which is a thing. Like, there are those far leftist people that are trying to do that now. And like I said back then, I am now. I'm avidly against that. I'm fighting against that. But I feel like in some ways you're telling a religion what they can and can't believe when you're telling the religion that they can't acknowledge gay marriage at the same time. Never understood why that wasn't a popular argument back then, but it wasn't. But gay marriage isn't on the fucking docket anymore. Like, I guess the only thing that I've made a major switch on is the abortion issue. And I don't know that I've switched from being... I'm not pro-choice anymore. It's the best way I can put it. Like,
So you used to be pro-choice, so you were for...
I was definitely for pro-choice.
Yeah.
Because of, having a child at an early age is like the number one thing that you can guarantee a female is going to be locked into poverty.
Sure.
So her having the ability to stop that made a lot of sense to me. And I'm still like, I guess I'm just a step back from where I was, to where like I still recognize that to be true, but I also simultaneously recognize, like, undeniably, scientifically speaking, like, that's a person you're killing.
I had a weird view about on that. So I'm pro-choice.
Yeah.
For the most part. Here's my thing: freedom is freedom. Period. If you want to destroy your fucking life, then destroy your fucking life. That's all your prerogative. I mean,
that's been my backdrop of everything.
Who am I to stop you from fucking?
I have my morals. I wouldn't want my girlfriend to get an abortion, but that doesn't mean I can inflict that on everybody else.
I feel the same way about seatbelts. Like, what the fuck?
Oh, seatbelt laws drive me crazy.
Yeah, like you're gonna. I'm gonna get a ticket if I don't wear my seatbelt, but that has nothing to do with you. Yeah, exactly. So it's the same kind of viewpoint, I guess, on that. But the whole pro-choice. The reason why I said it like this is very simple. But the reason why I have a problem with it is because, like, it's pro-choice of the woman, and I'm probably gonna get dogged for this, but
yeah.
It's pro-choice of the woman. The woman gets to choose whether or not she gets to keep the child and everything like that.
Right.
Which is perfectly fine. All right.
Okay.
But I feel like the man
has no choice in it.
Should have at least an opinion in it. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
I'm not saying that the guy can say, no, you can't have it, so that's it. I think that if a woman wants to get rid of it, but the guy was like, hey, man, like, don't do that. I think that his voice should be heard too, because it takes two to tango. They're both at fault here,
right?
And because here's the thing, here's my perfect point. If a woman wants to have the child, and the man doesn't want to have the child, right? Then there should be like a mutual contract between the both of them, where it's like, okay, you give up all rights.
He can walk away.
He can walk away from it,
and he doesn't have any financial obligation.
Make sense?
Did you see the last Dave Chappelle skit? they're special yet?
Yeah, I did, and no, but I was agreeing with a lot with who he was saying too. So
that
I
was
think
the point of his whole thing.
But I mean, that's a good point, though,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I completely forgot about it. Now that you brought it up, I was like, yeah, I remember agreeing with him. I was like, yeah, that's what I feel. I think that there should be another voice, like an opinion on there.
So it gets tough when you start paying attention to it. Like, have you ever watched a video on what an abortion actually is? Like what the procedure looks like?
Yeah.
That's fucking
It's a brutal
tough.
procedure, yeah. Well, it also depends on the
Age of it.
age of the fetus, yeah.
Yeah. That's a whole nother thing of like, they just call it a fetus.
Have you seen the
It's a
one in
fetus, not a
fucking
baby.
New York?
It's a fetus. I don't.
What they have to do for the ones in New York?
Yeah.
They're literally pulling out a legit fucking human being at this point.
Yeah.
Again, there's people that are going to argue with me. 18 days later, it's got a heartbeat. It's a human being. Okay, I get it. I'm not trying to argue with you, but I'm talking about like a physical looking human being
But
out of
that's the thing, though, is that like most abortions are that.
Yes.
Most abortions, it's that the quote unquote fetus, which I think is a term on purpose meant to like kind of dull what it really is.
Yeah.
That's a fucking baby.
No.
I mean, like it has a DNA. It's fully fleshed out there. It has arms, legs, hands, feet, toes, whole fucking bit. Like unless you're talking about an abortion that happens within like the first 4 weeks, they're pulling the arms and legs off of the torso and sucking out the brains.
Yes.
I mean, it's fucking
rough. Yeah, I feel like those doctors have to go through a lot.
I'm so fucking conflicted on that of like the pro-lifers, they got a point.
Yes.
And the other gross thing that like it's easy not to think about, but the late term abortion stuff is kind of like the medical marijuana in Colorado or California, to where like there's abortion doctors, that's all they do. So like you want to be medically necessary abortion at 7 months, you go pay one of those doctors and you just pay them money, and now it's medically necessary to have that abortion, and you just fucking kill a 7-month-old baby. I mean, I know technically it's a fetus, but that's a fucking baby. It's 7 months.
Yeah.
That's viable outside the womb.
Well, then you have the argument of like, when is it considered a baby?
Right.
That's why you see those 18 days
I guess
later.
The best way I've put it, or I've heard it put, is that you can argue whether it's a baby or it's a fetus, but it's a human either way.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a fucking human. If it's gonna have male pattern baldness, it's already figured out. That's already set in that fucking thing's DNA. Now, that's where the wonderful world of politics gets all fucking...
Because within politics it's the government, and how much the government's going to control it, how much the government's going to be involved, what is the government going to do, and what are they offering,
Right.
And the reason why I say my political views have changed is because now that I'm paying more attention, obviously because of our job here.
Mm-hmm.
I pay more attention to politics. I've listened to so many more debates than I've ever have in my life. I've actually watched and read documents of what, like manifests and stuff like that from these people, the transcripts and stuff like that. I was going through a little bit of it, kind of reading key points. Somebody else obviously was going through the key points, and I was reading what those were.
Sure.
I didn't read all 250 whatever pages of it. And it's just, it's so weird to me because it's like, in the public eye, it's blatantly obvious, like what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like it's not like this is a secret. It's not like it's hidden from your eye. It's not like you can argue with me and say, "Well, this is wrong." You could see it. It's in the public eye of what they're fucking doing.
Yeah,
and it
but
drives
I feel like
me
that's
nuts.
True. That's true of a lot of politics.
Have you heard the debates of some like okay, so this whole debate, this not debate, but the impeachment. It's driving me nuts listening to both sides and listening to the questions that they ask these witnesses, stuff like that, and then what they're actually trying to impeach him for. And it's like blatantly obvious that they don't want the Republicans to have a voice or ever win this and everything like that. And Adam Schiff has been doing a lot, everything in his power to just shut them down.
Yeah,
as
he's
much
got
as
a bunch of special rules.
A bunch of special rules.
He can keep them from speaking whenever the fuck he wants, basically.
No, only the Democrats were allowed to question the whistleblower. The Republicans aren't allowed to. How is that a fucking thing? And then they deny it. Adam Schiff, I don't know who the whistleblower is, but they admitted to it.
Right.
And then recently, the one that I just saw, the video that I just saw earlier, was the transcripts through the whole impeachment debriefing on how the Democrats changed the verbiage from
quid pro quo.
To
bribery.
To bribery. Yeah. He's like, bribery got mentioned once in this entire thing, and that was because of this person saying something about this. But it's like they keep trying to change the agenda so that way people would like understand it differently or change the viewpoint of it.
Yeah, they're grasping straws. It's one of those things where like I'm like, just don't pay attention to it because it's going to upset you and it's not going to it's not going to amount to anything. So why the fuck do I care?
Yeah,
like, but it's been rough. I mean, the guy. Well, I was watching one to where the guy's before the committee. The Republican is questioning him. He says to the Republican that he doesn't know who the whistleblower is. And then he's asking him about who he talked about with the phone call. He says one person, and he starts to say the other. And then Adam Schiff like cuts him off.
Yes.
And then he's like, well, I can't say. The Republican's like, well, what are you talking about? You can't say.
Yeah.
I mean, you can plead the fifth, but you're in front of Congress right now. You can't just say, I can't say.
Yeah.
He's like, well, I'm just going to defer to the Adam Schiff there.
He's watching everything go, so that way it goes.
Like, it's illegal to lie to Congress. He clearly just lied to Congress, saying he didn't know who it was. So he asked him, oh, you don't know who it is? Well, who do you talk to about it?
Yeah.
That guy and who else?
Yeah.
And then as he's getting ready to say it, Adam Schiff jumps in and keeps him from saying it.
Yep.
It's one of those things where it's all nasty, but that's how fucking politics is. It's all fucking... Adam Schiff is a goddamn robot.
He is so weird. Have you seen the comedian that's been doing videos of him? I'll shoot you a text later. I can't remember the guy's name, but he has an actor that plays Adam Schiff, and it's fucking hilarious. Like his look at his face looks just like him, and he does like these stupid skits. It's just hilarious. But he's a fucking robot, and
he's a good guy to make fun of. That guy
really
is a weird motherfucker.
Yeah.
That guy's weird as shit.
It's like making fun of like Zuckerberg.
Yeah,
it's like making fun of him. It's almost the same. It's like they're two people. They're both aliens. I swear. They're both from another planet. I swear.
We were talking about like how, kind of what helped our political views shift because we both. I feel like we were both kind of more liberal.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like two things: if you grow up poor and you grow up, in the public school system, you have every inclination to want be a Democrat.
Yeah, because they offer free shit,
and everybody's telling you that's the good thing.
That's what I was doing when I was growing up. That's what it was. It was go this route because you're gonna get. They're fighting for free things, and when I got older, I started realizing, well, okay, where's it gonna come from?
Ronald Reagan hated black people. That's the shit they'd say, and it's the same shit that they're saying against Trump. Like they don't ever tell you like, oh, they have a different political opinion than us. Like they believe in a different economic system. No, it's that they hate black people. They're like that's the shit.
They go to a simple,
and when you're younger,
simple negative
you're
that
not
people
gonna question that shit.
Yeah, a simple negative. If I told you, he cheated 3% on the stock market, you'd be like, what? Yeah. But if I told you he don't like black people, then it's easier to understand and grasp. And then now it's like, well, someone said it has to be true,
right?
And it's like, okay, well, or what's your evidence? If I actually got into an argument with somebody about this, a young lady, not an argument, a debate. Sorry,
sure.
I didn't yell, scream.
About Trump?
About Trump. And it was literally, she started off with "fuck Trump."
Okay.
And I was like, oh, okay. Why? Why would you say such a thing? Because he's just a piece of shit. He's a racist and everything like that. Okay. I was like, okay, all right. Tell me something. Tell me a policy that he has gotten wrong so far. Tell me what evidence you have of him being racist. I tried asking the very simple questions.
Sure.
She actually had an answer, which most people are like, well, he just is,
Right.
The answer was, well, look what he's doing at the border. Okay, well, what is he doing at the border? Oh, he's putting up this wall because he thinks, Mexicans are bad. I said, well, he's putting up the wall for national security, but okay, keep going. And he's putting all these pieces, separating kids from their families and everything like that. And I said, okay. So before Trump, the Obama administration did that very thing,
yep,
separating adults and children, building more facilities, building more beds, having cages, not cages, but more like, they're cages, having cages set up to where they would separate these people for processing and then put them back in the country. The Obama administration did that. So do you hate Obama? So you're on a one course street because it started then.
Right.
He did the same exact thing.
Fine when black guy does it.
Yeah. So then she was like,
or Democrat, however you want to spell
it. And that was my problem. It's like, okay, cool. If you want to call the kettle, or if you want to call a spade, then call a spade a spade. Don't sit here and just, I'm only going to call this one it, but even though this other guy did it, he's cool, not this guy.
Right.
No, fuck off. Like, okay. And then I like when I hear people go, well, I don't like him because he's not a politician. Well, maybe that's what the fuck we need. We are the people, like.
So I feel like that's why he's shit on so hard, honestly, is that he's not a politician. He's not playing, like, he's an outsider.
Yep.
And so he's pissed so many people off because I feel like there's legit right wingers, legit left wingers.
Mm-hmm.
There's the deep state of, like, the people that, we're fucking government employees. He pissed everybody off.
Yeah.
He pissed all the career politicians off because he's not one of those and he thinks they're idiots.
Mm-hmm.
And they are idiots.
Yes, they are.
But they don't like being told they're idiots and they don't think they're idiots. So he's managed to piss off every career politician, right or left. He's managed to piss off all of the CIA, the FBI, all of these fucking career government employees. All of the media has every, like, it's so easy to shit on him. Like, I think that what we're seeing is, like, the most obvious thing of, like, when the deep state wants to trick you, like, it's almost like a form of brainwashing. I really feel like, genuinely, like, it's a hard thing to untie with people about Trump. Like, all my family, like, I did it with my mom because it's easier with my mom because I can kind of slowly talk to her about one thing after the other and kind of have a conversation over the span of 4 months. And, like, because she came at me with all the same stuff and now she realizes, like, maybe I'm not going to vote for Trump, but he's not racist. That's a blatant lie.
Yeah.
But she totally believed that he was racist because you just hear people say it often enough and you don't question it. Yeah, he's racist. Okay, how? Oh, shit. He's not actually racist when I stop and think about it and try to put some brain power to it. My brother, last time I was in Kansas City, just hit me with so you're a Trump guy, huh? And, like, I was like, yeah, actually. Like, I'm more and more of his, the longer and longer he's a president, like, I'm fucking a legit Trump guy. Like, I voted for Trump, like, really, like, I felt guilty. I felt gross about it.
When you
like,
did it? Yeah.
Like, cause,
I voted for Trump too, and I felt proud of it because and most of it was because I didn't want the opposing side to win.
Yeah, man. Like, it was purely because, like, I thought Hillary was a terrible choice, and I was in we're in a battleground state here, so I part of me wanted to vote for Gary Johnson, the Libertarian candidate. But then I literally, like, psyched myself up before I went and voted. I typed in, like, top 5 reasons to vote for Trump.
Yeah,
and watched a fucking video on it.
Yeah.
Of Gavin McInnes, actually, was the one, the guy that started the Proud Boys. I watched his video on 5 best reasons to vote for Trump, and then I went and voted for Trump. And my district went Hillary Clinton anyways, but...
Yeah, but I mean...
but I voted for
We vote. We still vote. We vote. We vote. We vote. That's important.
But, I've gone from, like, really, like, voting, thinking that he's, like, the best, worst choice to, like... I don't think he's the best, worst choice. I think he's a good fucking choice. Like, I think he's a good fucking president.
I think so, too.
I think Trump has done an awesome fucking job.
Yeah.
And if you're not paying attention to what he's doing and you just kind of hear what everybody's saying, Orange Man bad is everywhere.
Yeah.
I think it's like a mass brainwashing going on. So all these non-political people, which is most people, hate Trump. And they don't have good reasons why.
What's funny is that they didn't hate Trump until Trump became president. A lot of these people were shaking hands, having dinner with him, going to meet. They all hung out.
Like,
but once he became president,
like I can remember Trump being in things
Home Alone
before. Yeah,
but I'm saying like he was in
rap videos.
Yes, rap videos. He was in rap videos. There was a lot of things Trump was in.
Before The Apprentice. Like, he was a popular dude, and like all of a sudden now he's this racist bigot.
Yeah,
like, what?
Yeah, it made no sense to me too. I feel that there's like there's a smoke screen, a trick or a show being put on for the general public, because the freedom of press and media was created, and I've said this before, media was created to keep tabs on the government for us, the people, so we can know. It completely has shifted. It is not that anymore. Well, it is a little bit of that.
I feel like that's kind of false. I think that if the media is doing their job properly, that's what they're doing.
If they were doing their job properly, it would be keeping us informed, not with an
keeping
opinion.
the government in check,
and keeping that's what it is. So because they have to do these things, this stuff has to be public. What they're doing right now has to be public.
Right.
They have to set their pawns in the right place. It's like a chess game.
Yep.
That's why Adam Schiff is there. To be honest with you, I don't even know who the fuck this guy was until this whole fucking thing started coming up.
He's a robot. He can handle it.
Perfect guy to do it. He knows all the rules and everything like that. And you listen, this is your job, Adam. You need to make sure that you shut everything down as much as possible so we can keep this going the way it needs to go. Because they're not going to win it anyway. So that's what Adam Schiff has been doing. He's been gagging everybody. He could possibly gag. He's been taking time away from people. I am the chairman. You will listen and respect the chairman rules. You know. You
know what's fucked up is that what they're doing all this shit instead of voting in that new trade policy with Canada and Mexico. That's supposed to do like fucking awesome things. Like universally, everybody agrees like it's the best fucking trade deal we've had in decades.
Yeah,
and it's closed. All they have to do is vote on it, and they're doing the impeachment shit instead of voting on it. And like they know if they brought it up, Democrats will not decline it. Democrats are a fan of it because it's undeniable how good it is for America.
Sure,
but rather than even bringing that up, they're doing impeachment and tabling it because they don't want Trump to have a win. You know, like. It's
narratives.
It's not a Democratic thing either, because I can remember Republicans doing this to Obama too, of like Obama had some stuff that it was bipartisan, everybody was a fan of. Well, we don't want to give Obama a win. You know, like I heard
I'm sure it can happen on both sides, and I'm not going to say that Republicans are.
That's the problem with career politicians. They're scumbags.
Yeah, and I'm not going to say big government sucks. So. I'm not going to say, Republicans didn't do, something similar to this or whatever not, but I'll tell you what, man, over the years of my life that I've been here, this is the worst I've ever seen it. I don't remember.
Division?
Yeah, it was the worst I've ever seen it. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure didn't Bill Clinton went up for impeachment, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember that being this bad.
I mean, it was pretty bad.
I don't remember. I know that they were like, "Oh, you're a scumbag," and there was they a lot of women spoke on it and stuff like that because of what he did, adultery and cheating on his wife and all that stuff. But like, I don't know, man. And Epstein didn't kill himself. So did you see that one girl, the first one, came out and spoke and said that she was 15 years old on his Lolita Express. And then she was explaining how Epstein was telling her that the seat that she was sitting in is the one that Bill Clinton usually sits in. Yeah. Did you see that?
No.
Oh my goodness, she may suicide.
Did you see that?
She may be suicided soon.
Yeah. Did you see the Prince Harry thing?
Yeah. Oh.
Did you see the interview he did?
No, I didn't see the interview. I know what you're talking about though.
It was so bad.
Yeah.
Fuck, it's so bad. Like his, I forgot what they call it, like public relations guy. He quit his job like the day that he went on to go do that interview, and it's a fucking bad. Like that's clearly not me. Like that's definitely. I mean, I always wear a tie when I'm there.
That's what he was saying. That's your proof, dude. I always wear a tie, man. Come on, that's not me.
Well, I don't have it now, but I had a rare medical condition that kept me from sweating. So that couldn't be me sweating on her. Like, no, that's not me.
Oh my God.
It was fucking bad.
I don't have it anymore, but I had a medical condition that stopped me from sweating. That was what he fucking said.
And
wow.
She was like, so why did you go to Epstein's apartment after he got convicted for pedophilia? Oh, well, I was going there to tell him that we could no longer be friends. Oh, why did you stay there for 2 months? Oh, well, it was really convenient.
It was really convenient.
Dude,
I hope this stuff unfolds.
It won't.
Tenfold.
It won't, dude.
I hope
everybody
it keeps going.
Will sweep that shit under the rug.
I hope more people I hope more of these women that are out there come up and fucking talk. I hope this.
Dude, the fucking ABC anchor that was like venting about how her story got killed about Epstein.
Oh yeah, and she was talking about I had all the evidence.
Right.
Yeah.
But she was upset because she didn't get the scoop.
Yeah.
She didn't give a fuck about those kids. Like
no.
after
Well,
that
okay.
came out,
That's journalist though.
After that came out, she fucking pulled back on all of it. She was acting like, well, that was just a private matter. I was just saying that's not a matter of record.
Oh yeah, because but she was recorded and somebody cut it and was like, yeah, I'm gonna take this bitch. Yeah, she said it. We had the records, we had the evidence, we had the testimonies, we had everything, we had everything in the bag, and then couldn't do it, didn't release it. She got gagged. How much do you think that goes on now that it's coming to light with a lot of things? How much like that disgusts me.
I feel
that there was
like
a super mega power that his main thing.
There's always a class system. There's always a class system. It gets back to like the Jordan Peterson shit.
Yeah.
To where hierarchies have existed in lobsters, not meaning like today, but like back then. Like so, the hierarchy system is older than trees. It is in every species.
Yeah,
since
I read I'm not all the way through the book,
but
but
it's 12 Rules for Life.
Yeah, and he talks about the lobsters and the vulnerable points and stuff like that, and it talks about how the hierarchy. Yeah,
like the serotonin and the winning and the perpetual loss and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But as much as we can try to create a society that doesn't have classes, it's inherent in the human condition to want to make classes.
I think we're just too far.
What do you mean?
I think that our society has already went so deep and so far into all of these different things that we've created our own little bit of chaos. So instead of reverting back to what's happening, or what I'm starting to notice is happening, is that instead of getting involved as a group, as a whole, the divisions already started to happen, and people are more likely going to just worry about what's in their life, and that's it. Like, you know what? I'm done with that. I'm just going to worry about my house, my family. That's it. Nothing else matters. And then all of a sudden, that's where the division spreads. And then voting, it was 1 million people. Now it's 500,000 people. Then voting, obviously the numbers are bigger than that. But, but and I feel like that's what's going to start happening.
Like growing apathy.
Yeah, because there's so much.
That's kind of always been a thing. If people get stuck in their own world and then they don't give a shit about what's going on outside of it. But I don't know. I feel like there's a little bit more going on than that, because I feel like more than ever, everybody's got to be politically involved. Companies have to be politically involved. Chick-fil-A decided that they were going to stop giving to a couple different charities and focus on other charities, and that was somehow a political statement that they were caving in to no longer being anti-gay because they're not a fan or because they're not giving money to fucking, what's that, not Goodwill, but Salvation Army.
Oh yeah, that thing that just recently happened.
Everything's so mind-numbing. I fucking can't stand everybody. Like everybody pisses me off. Not everybody, clearly, but like all the outrage culture drives me fucking nuts.
Mm-hmm. So
when you're talking about being younger and being more left, that's a universal trend. Like that's a trend that is true among generation after generation. So aside from every incentive we had, to be kind of more Democrat, more leftist, I also feel like I didn't really understand what hard work was then. Like that's something I get now.
Back then it was so much easier to just, your parents did everything. So you
everything was handed to you.
It was handed. It was absolutely handed to you. And see, generations before us, as kids, you had to go to work to earn.
Yeah.
Obviously more generations than just our dad. Our parents didn't do that. But let's just say 2 generations.
Back when everybody's farmers.
1908, 1900s, early 1900s. Kids worked in factories.
Yeah.
Kids worked in factories to help bring home money. As well, because they were small. You read about the stories. They're small. Yep. They can fit into the machinery. So I think that back then they had a little bit different, but now as our society, and I said this actually in our class, we debate a lot in our class, and I said this. I think it's because our society, the technology goes up, our comfort levels go up, and we start losing values and understanding of exactly what you just said, things like that. Like I didn't know what hard work was until I became an adult,
Yeah.
I didn't know what hard work was until these things happened. So my viewpoints then have changed simply because I understand now.
Yeah.
Like why does capitalism work? Why is our country great? Like I understand now.
You get what it's like to work long enough to be a homeowner.
Yeah.
And like the commitment that is.
And I don't think that it's fair because I've also worked long enough to understand that there's shitty people and good people.
Yeah.
And I don't think that shitty person right there should get exactly what I get.
Yeah, well, why not? Why? Housing is a human right, Fred. Okay, so
fuck off. Okay, fuck you. I think that if you need to contribute to society for society to work, if you don't contribute to society, then you chose you dug your grave.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like when you talk about voting and how it used to work back in the day, like when it was colonial times, and then like right after the Revolutionary War. You had to own property. You had to be a white man and you had to own property
to vote.
Yep. And it's all about racist. They were racist. It was a racist patriarchy. They're just busy being racist, white men with property owners. What it was about, and there was a hint of that for sure, of like the whole white man, blah, blah, blah. But the property owning part of it is they wanted you to be responsible. Like they didn't take voting as some fucking frivolous act.
Yeah. They just wanted you to be responsible.
They wanted you to be involved and invested with America, of America actually fucking succeeding, and like worry about this shit. And they figured if you owned land, that meant you ran a farm, which is basically a small business. And if you're operating a small business, then you at least are somewhat competent. That was their kind of. And then when they rolled it back, and it was, people were able to vote, and you didn't have to be a white man, and you didn't have to be a landowner, but you had to be a man. And the women were the women's suffrage movement about that time, the late 1800s, and then into the early 1900s. Voting wasn't something that you just voted and that was it. Like there was responsibility that went along with that. Like, when you could vote, you also could be drafted. If you couldn't be drafted if you couldn't vote. If you could vote, you had to be part of the fire service, essentially voluntary firefighters. Something happened, you get the fuck out of your house and go help because that fire started, and you're a voting age male.
So now
it's
those values aren't like that.
Nope. It's just you just vote. Everybody can vote, and then it comes with nothing. There's no baggage on it. There's no responsibility. There's no ownership. It just everybody can vote, and it means nothing other than
the pridefulness of a man.
And I don't even know that that's necessarily like. I understand that other side of it. Like I feel like everybody should have some say into it, but maybe it wouldn't be so bad if everybody had a little bit of responsibility thrust upon them.
Yeah, in
some way, shape, or form. Maybe not everybody needs to be drafted, but something.
If something happens in your community, due diligence to help. But. Majority of people don't even do that.
Start a voluntary officer service to where like no one's arresting people in that, but they're taking care of vehicles that are broken down.
Have you seen the new Nest app? I'm sorry, I had to say that. So the Nest app is it goes over not Nest. I'm sorry, Ring. It's called Ring Neighborhood.
Okay.
All the Ring cameras and people that are on the Ring system get into this one app, and then they can share their videos and pictures and stuff like that.
It seems creepy.
It turned into this weird thing. It kind of aggravated me to a point. Like I scroll through these and they're like, yeah, this guy was around my house. I don't know who he is. Does anybody else know who he is? And then like people would just be walking on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
And it's like the suspicious person walking around my neighborhood at 9 o'clock at night. Like, yo, you've never walked around a neighborhood at 9 o'clock at night? And then now it's turned into this paranoia thing. And it's so funny. Like they were like, this person rang my doorbell. I don't know who they are. Okay, it's probably a sales guy.
Why don't you answer it and find out?
Yeah, find out who the person is. No, I'm not going to answer that. Like, so now it's turned into this weird thing. Door-to-door salesmen are dead now, by the way. Let's just put it out there.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's been there for a while, but there's still people that just don't do it anymore.
Yeah.
These doorbell cameras, they can see you. They're not answering their fucking door, bro. Like, you might as well just give that shit up. But yeah, sorry, I just had to bring that up because part of it is that's nobody leaves their house anymore. And,
yeah.
they don't even talk. There's no more communication. I mean, I walk down the neighborhood.
Definitely lack a sense of community.
Yeah, dude. Like, what happened to like neighbors? You know, like I love my neighbors here, but all the other ones, like nobody likes to converse.
The decline of the church too is a big part of that too. Of like, because that's the huge upside. Say what you want to say about religion, however you feel about it. There is a huge there's a word I'm looking for, but basically, you know, there's a huge value in having everybody on a local scale get together and fucking have a community, build a fucking community, help the community. Like churches do all kinds of good voluntary service. You know, someone that's a really good member of your community, you know, gets, you know, stage 4 cancer out of nowhere, or is just run down and they need fucking financial help, or they need help mowing their fucking lawn or whatever.
Taking out their trash.
Yeah, like simple shit. Like I think that's good for your health as much as it is helping the other person.
What did Elon Musk say when he was smoking weed with Joe Rogan? He said the answer was love. He said love was the answer. And I'll be honest with you, man, I think that's what it takes, is to get the love back into the community, man. Love thy neighbor, love one another, respect one another, understand what we're fighting for. What happened to the pride of this country? These people want to just shit. There's people out there that just want to shit on our country, and they live here. It just makes no sense to me. It really blows my mind. But you're right, man. I think everybody needs to be involved in their community more. But that's all the time we got today. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been awesome. This is a good combo,
yeah,
man.
I mean, I liked it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Sorry we don't have the whole fam here, but
we're working on it. It's just crunch time now. It's the holidays, but yeah, we'll have the whole family here soon. Anyways, I appreciate you guys listening to me. Don't forget to go to cabalusa.co and stonecoldworks.com. Check out those businesses and use the promo code Covert Standard for Cabal USA, and just mention us to Stone Cold Cerakote. From us to you, I've got clear malfunction.
You want something? Work your fucking ass off for it.
He's been saying it since fucking day one. Work your motherfucking ass off for it. I am the Nitro Panda. Don't forget to go on all of our social media. Give us a follow, give us a like, and subscribe. And tell your friends about it. We'd appreciate it.
Peace.
Love you guys. Yeah.